Representing the children of America, I am proud to say, gentlemen, start your engines.
The serenity of the Irish hills of South Central Michigan are awakened with the sound of race engines. 40 high-powered cars get set for 400 miles at Michigan International Speedway. Ernie Irvan thinks about his reversal of fortune that put him in victory lane last Sunday at Watkins Glen. After an apology to fellow drivers at Talladega, Irvan visited victory lane for the second time this season. Mark Martin has reversed his fortunes of earlier this year, accumulating most Winston Cup points in Charlotte. At the Glen, he suffered a setback on the last lap, spinning with third-place Davey Allison, but he came back to finish third. Allison, the winner here in June, finished ninth. Dale Earnhardt, the Winston Cup points leader, hopes to reverse his fortunes of last Sunday. He jumped a restart, and even a plea from car owner Richard Childress to NASCAR officials still resulted in 2 black flags. Dale finished 15th. Ricky Rudd picked up another 10 points on Dale in the battle for the Winston Cup with a runner-up finish at the Glen. Rudd comes here to Michigan hoping to close the gap even further. All 40 drivers wonder what their fortunes will be as the champion Sparkplug 400 is ready for the green flag. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. Today, live from Michigan International Speedway, it's the champion Sparkplug 400 at Michigan. Let's check the Sears Die Hard lineup. On the pole is Alan Kowicki from Greenfield, Wisconsin in the Hooters Ford, number 7, qualifying at 173.431. Alongside Mark Martin in the Folgers Coffee Ford. He's from Batesville, Arkansas, drives car number 6. Row 2 consists of Davey Allison in the Texaco Hamilton Ford, car number 28, and then Dawsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott in the number 9 Coors Light Melling Ford. Going to row number 3, it's Ernie Irvan, last week's winner in the Kodak Film Chevrolet, car number 4, and alongside the Budweiser Baby Ruth Ford, car number 11, driven by Chevron, New York's Jeff Bodine. Darrell Waltrip starts in 7th position, driving the Western Auto Chevy car number 17, and then Sterling Marlin in the Maxwell House Ford, car number 22, Sterling from Columbia, Tennessee. The 5th row is Rusty Wallace from St. Louis in the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac car number 2, and Morgan Shepherd in the Motorcraft Ford car number 15. Morgan hails from Conover, North Carolina. Dale Jarrett starts in the 11th position inside row number 6 in the Citgo Ford car number 21. And to his outside is Ricky Rudd in the Tide Exxon Chevrolet car number 5. In the 7th row, it's Jimmy Spencer and Harry Gant. Row number 8 is Ted Musgrave and Chad Little. The 9th row, Hud Strickland and Ken Schrader. In row number 10, it's Derry Cope and Bobby Hillen. Going to row number 11, Michael Waltrip and Buddy Baker. There in row number 12, you see Richard Petty and Stanley Smith, who had a win here yesterday. The 13th row, Labonte and Earnhardt. There he is, back outside of row number 13. 14th row, Speed and Brett Bodine. In row number 15, for this afternoon's race, it's Rick Wilson and Rick Mast. Row 16 consisting of Dick Trickle and Joe Ruttman driving a Chevy this weekend. The 17th row, Dave Marcus and Wally Dallenbach. Jimmy Means and Bobby Hamilton make up row number 18. And the last 2 rows consist of Jim Sauter and Mike Chase. And in row number 20, it's H.B. Bailey and Bobby Labonte, car number 44. Any clouds in the sky, and the pace car is about to pull off the racetrack. 40 cars and drivers, and the house is full here this afternoon. Not a seat available anywhere. And the field comes down, accelerating, looking for the green flag. It is flying, and the champion Sparkplug 400 is on.
One car in the middle, it looked like Sterling Marlin is having a problem. He is really dropping back. He almost got run over on the start, Bob, but everybody sees now that he is having a problem.
And everybody through turns 1 and 2 okay, heading down the backstretch. Those up front are entering turn number 3 as we go inside Lake Speed's Phillips 66 in-car camera. Morgan Shepherd is on the move. He's on the low side of the racetrack as they head through turns 3 and 4 onto the tri-oval. They come to the stripe and they're side by side. Martin inside and Kowicki outside. Kowicki leads lap 1.
That's always a matter of pride with race car drivers, is leading that first lap, especially if you're on the pole. And Alan Kowicki was able to do that. Mark Martin looks like he's going to take the lead. especially when Davey Allison comes up behind him. Those two cars together hook up in a draft, and it looks like they might get by Kawicki. At least Martin does.
Here comes Davey Allison to second. You'll see that
Once those cars got in line and stopped racing each other behind Martin, they closed right up on his back bumper, and here goes Kawicki for the lead down in turn 1.
trying to break the draft down low. He is pulling ahead of Mark Martin about a half a car length, and now they're 4 wide through here. Look at this. Mark Martin has to get off the accelerator, getting high on the racetrack, but 3 abreast down the backstretch. Allison, then Jeff Bodine, and Alan Kawicki as Mark Martin gets right on the back bumper of Davey Allison, and Allison takes the lead.
Pretty exciting stuff, huh, Dan?
Well, that's just the way it used to be here at Michigan. It is always exciting to come here.
Moore's a lap down, trying to get by Morgan to get his lap back. But Morgan drives away fairly significantly. And woohoo, there's Schrader, Brett Bodine, and Dale Jarrett, 3 abreast.
And here comes Sterling Marlin in car 22 on the outside, and Jimmy Spencer is there also. And look up front, 3 abreast here is Irvin, Rusty Wallace, and Jeff Bodine.
Wow. Look at this. Darrell Waltrip is on the inside of his brother. Well, what was he, 5 abreast then?
They were 5 abreast down through there, and Michael came way down on his brother, who had to take to the apron of the racetrack to make it 5 wide.
Dale Jarrett is thanking the Lord that he's looking at his rearview mirror. This mess almost. Was that Spencer that got sideways? Looked like Jimmy Spencer got sideways and almost ran into someone.
Schrader pushed the button and said, let me get out of this mess.
Up front, meanwhile, it is Martin, Irvin, and Bill Elliott. And Elliott, he bumps Mark Martin as he slides up the racetrack.
He decided that he would get behind Mark Martin, and he made that move awfully fast.
Yes, there's Harry Gant trying to get on the inside of Dale Jarrett. Dale has chosen to follow Dick Trickle around there. And
spin up in turn 2 right behind these cars.
And 2 cars involved, 3 involved. I believe Joe Ruttman
is involved.
He hit whoever spun up there. That's against the outside wall, and then somebody spun behind.
That's the 89 car, I believe, of Jim Sauter up against the wall. There
yes,
it is.
The Evan Root sponsored car driven by Jim Sauter from Necedah, Wisconsin. Crashes up in turn number 2, and Joe Ruttman's Chevy Lumina is badly damaged in the front end.
I've been calling it an Oldsmobile. You're right, that is a Chevrolet.
It is a Lumina, yep. Here's the tail end of the spin as we see the safety crew rush to Jim Sauter's car.
We see it right behind. I saw Sauter. He just lost control for some reason. I don't think anyone was around him. He goes around and everything is okay till Joe Ruttman comes along, has no place to go, and really can't see anything in the smoke. And we see the car back behind spinning.
I don't know who that is. Maybe we can learn from this angle. There's a contact, Ruttman and Sauter, and a closer view of it there.
Whoever that white car was that spun back there, he really got lost in the smoke. And
yep. But okay. The last weekend at Watkins Glen, during the running of the Budweiser at the Glen, we lost a very close friend, a very tenacious competitor in the Winston Cup Series. As many of you know by now, JD McDuffie lost his life in that crash last week. Benny Parsons takes a closer look at this great man.
Racing fans knew JD as the classic underdog, or in racing terms, an independent, and they loved him for that. Because in many ways, he was a symbol of the struggles that many of us face in life. For JD, his joy came in working on a race car that he was proud of, and then driving it to its limit. He operated on a budget less than a tenth the size of others, but he kept plugging away. And someone asked why did he keep racing? He knew he really didn't have a chance to win. But I'm here to tell you, when the command was given to start the engines at Watkins Glen last Sunday, JD was sitting there thinking about how he could win that race. As hard to believe as it may sound, every real racer thinks that today will be his day, that somehow, some way, things might fall their way, and they'll be the first to take the checkered flag. JD McDuffie was a real racer. When he was interviewed in Victory Lane following his win in a celebrity race at Shangri-La Speedway the night before his final race, what was on his mind?
Yeah, we had a real good time, too. I hope I can repeat this tomorrow.
But But it's times like these we realize all successes in life aren't measured by wins and losses, but rather the quality of the pursuit of a dream. For racing fans, JD McDuffie will always be remembered as a symbol of the days when racing was simple and men competed for the love of the sport.
And the mechanic of the race, the Western Auto mechanic of the race, is Larry McReynolds from the Davey Allison crew. Congratulations to Larry.
And right now, Larry McReynolds is, oh, caution flag now comes out.
Yep, there it is. That's the thing that's going to change the complexion and the strategy of this race. Allison slows it down. So does Martin and Gant as the yellow flag waves here on lap 187 because of debris on the racetrack. 13 laps to go in this race. See Elliott Irvin, Alan Kowicki, and Michael Waltrip come in.
That's right. Michael Waltrip is on 7 cylinders, the last car on the lead lap, so
there's no reason why he shouldn't.
Davey's going to come in and get 4 tires, I bet.
Davey is?
Yeah, I bet he will.
We'll see.
A little activity there.
We're about ready to answer the question. Will there be... here they come.
Everyone comes in.
No question that everyone is coming in to get some fresh tires and make sure they have enough fuel to go the distance, and now the shoot-up is set out.
When one does it, everybody else has to then.
Jerry Punch is on pit road.
And indeed, they come at us at 50 miles per hour. Everyone on the radios telling the drivers 50 miles an hour. Here's Mark on the bottom, Davey Allison on top of your screen. We'll watch both these crews go to work. 4 tires for Davey Allison in the Hamilton Ford, while they're going to get right side tires only for Mark Martin. They put 1 can of fuel, 1 can only. Mark Martin is away. And Davey Allison is off to Jackson. He is away. And these cars will make their way back to turn 1. They're putting 4 tires on Rusty Wallace's car and 4 tires on the Harry Gant machine. Here's Gant coming out. Here's Rusty Wallace moving down pit road. Ernie Irvin, Alan Kowicki, and Bill Elliott as they all head back to turn 1.
Now it comes down to what it should come down to, and that is who has the better car rather than who has the fuel mileage.
Well, Jarrett only put fuel in, didn't he, Dan?
Yeah, they only took, the Wood brothers opted to just put fuel in the set-go forward, so he was the first driver out. Now, it'll be interesting to see how that strategy works out.
Back together, he is back here working. We just wanted to update and let everyone know he's going to be okay. He got it pulled together, and he's just pulling for his driver. We're going back to green, guys.
We sure are, and there are 9 laps to go. 191 laps completed. Boy, look at this. They fan out 3 and 4 wide as they head for turn number 1, and Dale Jarrett has the lead of the race. Mark Martin second and Davey Allison third.
We're going to see how much of an advantage those new tires are. Dale Jarrett did not change. Martin did. Let's see if he can hold them off. And can Mark Martin hold off Davey Allison?
Look at Allison. Allison goes inside of Mark Martin, and he's going to pass Martin with ease. And now he sets his sights on the leader, Dale Jarrett.
That's the break that what he needed for. He needed those guys to race. He needed for Davey and Mark to race. And look, Davey Allison gets too high, and he and Mark Martin touch. And here comes Rusty Watt. Now, this is what Dale Jarrett needs.
Yeah, let them bang around back there on each other.
Boy, Davey got way up high on the wall. Here comes Ernie Irvin to the inside.
And Mark Martin looks like he's off the pace.
Well, Davey Allison passed on the inside and then went to the outside of the racetrack and got in trouble as the car came off the 4th corner. Look how high he is.
Davey got in the corner too hard, went up. Mark Martin was trying to get by. He touches Davey in the left rear. Now he has to jump out of the throttle, and that's why he slowed down so dramatically.
Boy. All right. Now, it is Dale Jarrett, Davey Allison, and Rusty Wallace, first, second, and third.
Boy, they're running flat out now.
7 laps to go. This is the bumper cam. Dale Jarrett's car. Nothing in front of him. Clear sailing. But right behind him is Allison as he charges to the back bumper of Dale Jarrett's car.
That's Rusty Wallace. The black car in the middle is Rusty Wallace. And Dale Jarrett is doing his car, doing a great job on those tires with 30-35 laps, as John Kernan reported.
Allison hangs back. Big pack of cars behind the first 3. Martin and Gant and several others are following. There's still 3 abreast battling for position.
I'll tell you, I've been surprised that Dale's been able to stay out there that long with those tires. The Wood Brothers made a good call. Made a very good call.
Is Dale Jarrett headed for his first Winston Cup victory of his career?
Could very well be.
He only has 5.5 laps to go.
His best finish was a 4th at Atlanta last year, the last race of the season.
He's holding off the challenge of Davey Allison. When they come down, it'll complete 195 laps.
Now, remember, we talked about no winner out of the top 10. Dale started 11th.
Yep. And he could break that string. But Davey, of course, started in 3rd position, and he would like to continue it.
The one advantage that Dale Jarrett has is he's running in the same tracks that Davey Allison wants to run in, where Davey's been running all day. Both those cars having on the bottom of the racetrack, and Davey's not able to find his favorite spot to run in. He's trying to go high, but we saw a moment ago his car just does not work up there like he wants it to.
Now he gets up there. Dale gives him some room, or does he give him some room? No, he puts him right back out there. I'll tell you one lady that's going crazy down in North Carolina is Kelly Jarrett. She's a very Dale's wife. She's a competitive individual.
And I'll tell you what, in the years that I've worked with this guy sitting next to me, Ned, I don't think I've ever seen him quite as antsy as he is right now. The last win, by the way, for the Wood Brothers was in May of 1987 when Kyle Penny drove their car to a victory in the World 600. Now there is Harry Gant and Bill Elliott.
That's a race for 5th.
Dicing for that 5th position, as behind him Alan Kulwicki and Ernie Irvin are also fighting it out for a spot.
The 2-car Rusty Wallace, the only non-Ford product in the top 5.
3 laps to go.
Ned, I believe he's going to pull it off.
I don't know. I'm holding my breath. I don't know if I'm going that long or not.
I want you to say something, Ned, so you can breathe.
We understand that Davey Allison's car has developed a push. Is that right, Jerry?
That's exactly right. Davey's got a bad push in the car, and he's having trouble getting the car turned coming off the corners, and Dale Jarrett is taking the inside lane away. Guys, it's going to be a shootout.
It sure is. When they come down, there'll only be 2 more laps to go. 4 miles of racing. Allison looks to the outside. He falls in behind Dale Jarrett, and they're still separated by about 3 or 4 car lengths. The Wood Brothers, by the way, are the all-time winners in terms of car owners with 10 victories here at this racetrack. Allison closes in even tighter. It's now down to a car length and a half. They go on to the backstretch, and a spin, a car blowing an engine in turn number 2. Dave Marcus with a big puff of smoke. Is this going to bring out the caution? I doubt it. But boy, that would assure things for Dale Jarrett.
Well, if they can get back to the start-finish line first.
Here comes Davey to the outside. He's going to try this pass again. It got him in trouble earlier. They both slide up the racetrack, and here they come for the white flag. 1 more lap to go, and Allison has a slight advantage on Jarrett as they head for turn number 1.
But remember, Dale's been going well on the inside. Does he have the right line, though, Bob?
Davey Allison keeps his car in the middle of the racetrack. Dale Jarrett's car is on the low side. Off the 18 degrees of banking, they go down on 5 degrees of banking, and Dale Jarrett wiggles a little bit as they come out of the second corner. They bump, they touch, they rub, going down the backstretch, side by side, wheel to wheel. Who is it going to be in the Champion Spark Plug 400? Jarrett has the slight advantage as they go into the 3rd and 4th corners. Davey Allison battles back on the outside. It's going to be a photo finish. They touch coming down through the triangle at the line. Who wins it? I believe Jarrett got it.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Oh, wow.
Dale Jarrett won it, but it was a photo finish. He didn't win by more than 4 or 5 inches.
I tell you, fellas, when he wins his first one, I want him to do it that way, racing for it.
And he waves to Davey Allison saying, nice race.
Wow.
Dale Jarrett, his first Winston Cup victory.
All right, here they come off of turn 4. Allison on the outside, Jarrett on the inside. both of them with the pedal to the metal. They touch coming off of the turn. Did that slow Jarrett down too much? No, he gets a bite down on the inside and barely gets to the start and finish line first. Glad he did it again.
Man.
Well, it's just another race.
You was afraid he was going to lose it on the replay, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Wow, what a finish.
Oh, boy. Let's get out of John
on that too, but you know, you roll them, sometimes they come up 7. So.
Hey, let's go to Atlantic City. Go on down to victory lane, Eddie.
Dale Jarrett wins the Champion Spark Plug 400 and picks up his first Winston Cup win. Here's his reaction as he crossed the line, looking to the right to Davey. He says, I've got this thing. All right. And there is Happy Papa. And again, Ned, from all of us here in the broadcast booth, and I know everybody down on the truck, and a lot of well-wishers around the world, really, congratulating you and your son, Dale Jarrett, on a fine, fine victory here this afternoon.
Well, I tell you, I didn't have anything to do with it unless pulling helps. But he drove a great race, and they gave him a great race car and made a good call there at the end. The Wood brothers didn't win all those races. They won by just
Here's Jerry Punch.
Is this young man happy? Look at him getting hugged and congratulated. My goodness, what a celebration, Dale. Congratulations as all the crew comes in. Congratulations on a tremendous effort.
Well, thank you. First of all, I say, Kelly, I love you. I'm sorry you couldn't be here for the first one, but Dad, I'm glad you got to see it here. But next thing, these Wood brothers are something else, aren't they? They did a great job. What a call there at the end. The car, that was the fastest that the car had been, and Best drove, and they said, let's leave those tires on, just get a splash of gas. And that's what won me the race. Appreciate Davey. I raced him awfully hard there. I hope he understands that's the first one, and I wanted it awfully bad. But, you know, thanks to Citco for giving me this opportunity. Ford, I certainly appreciate everything they've done for me, and these guys are just great.
Young man so emotional he can hardly talk. And Dale, the last couple of laps, there was some bumping out there. And tell us about your thoughts coming off turn 4 on that last lap. You can see the checkered flag getting ready to wave, and he had you by half a car length. Yeah, he did. He got off the corner there. I thought maybe that I could run him out of racing room up there, but you know, as good a driver as Davey is, he just held his own there. I tell you, this engine in this Ford here really ran good, and you know, I'm just as happy as I can be right now. Somebody I've got to thank that helped me along the way a lot. 2 people, John Irvin, the crew chief on my other car that brought me up, and Horace Eisenhower that owns the Busch Grand National car. That if it wasn't for him and my dad, probably wouldn't be here. But thanks to everybody back in Hickory. We'll have a big party when we get there. I guarantee you there'll be party in North Carolina tonight. Dale Jarrett gets a big hug from Len Wood, Eddie Wood. The Wood brothers have made the call, and the young man has gone to victory lane for the first time.
He is the first-time winner of 1991, and he is the first driver ever to win a race here at Michigan out of the top 10. He started in 11. Congratulations to Dale Jarrett.